Hi, everybody. Dan Illman here. The DRF.com formulator race of the day for Sunday at Del Mar is the Grade 1 Matriarch Stakes. We're going 1 mile on the turf. Remember to head on over to the Race of the Day event page on DRF.com and download your free formulator past performances for this Grade 1 race. It features a full field. You can go so many different ways. The number 7 Cambodia is the horse to beat, though, for trainer Tom Proctor. She just turned a corner when she first came to Southern California, reeling off several impressive races in a row, culminating with a good third-place finish last time out in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf. A race that the first furlong of the Filly and Mare Turf, there was a lot of bouncing and bumping around. Cambodia was involved in that, but she was able to emerge from that scrum into a very nice spot, tracking the pace on the outside. She came with a very fair chance turning into the stretch, and she just flattened out. She wasn't as good as the top two. It was yet another good performance for Cambodia. She's going to cut back to a mile. I think she might be a little bit better at a mile and a 16th, a mile and an eighth, but she's been competitive at a mile in the past. And Cambodia has just been nothing but consistent. She's got the home court advantage here at Del Mar. She's the horse to beat in the Matriarch. You're probably going to have to take a little bit of a depressed price. Chad Brown, obviously dangerous in all these major graded stakes races, especially on the turf. He's going to ship in 2 from New York, and he's going to ship in the number 8 Off Limits, who's just been so impressive in her last 2 races. Just a gigantic run down the center of the track 2 starts back. And then in her most recent start, she was so confidently handled turning into the stretch that you had a feeling it was going to be another tour de force. And then the couple of other horses came to her in the stretch, and Joel Rosario asked her a little bit late. She only won by a neck. I have a feeling she probably could have won by a little bit early at the top of the stretch. She's been nothing but solid since coming here, has really turned the corner for Chad in her last 4 or 5 races, and a mile is really what's good for the number 8 Off Limit. She looks a little bit like Roca Rojo, who came here last year for Chad and finished second in the Matriarch, a more experienced version of Roca Rojo. Ruba Linda, the number 9, is the other Chad Brown trained horse, and she's a daughter of Frankel, so she debuted to a lot of fanfare earlier this year in New York, and Chad has sort of taken baby steps with her, a little bit reluctant to stretch her out, a little bit reluctant to try the big girls. Well, now she's ready to try the big girls. She won last time out. She's still a little bit green. She made a nice move on the turn to take over the lead, and I wonder that once she made the front, if she started to lose focus, because she started gawking around a little bit. It looked like she was waiting on other horses. She was flipping leads a couple of times in the stretch, and I think she's really going to have to do everything perfectly and professionally in order to handle this tougher field of older fillies. She has some talent, but it could be a bit of a tough spot. The 12 Kittens Roar won the Goldacova Stakes on one of the Breeders' Cup undercards, and this is a horse that is able to get good trips for the most part. She got a great trip in that Goldacova, that pace-tracking, ground-saving trip in behind the leader. She was able to ease out into the stretch. It was just a perfect trip. It's not likely to duplicate itself here because she drew a fairly terrible post position out in 12, but the way she ran in the stretch, it's the best I've seen Kittens Roar in the stretch in any of her most recent races, and she's done a lot of traveling. I just think she really likes the hard and firm turf course out at Del Mar in Southern California. Kittens Roar might have found a home here for trainer Michael Maker. She's going to have to overcome a tough post. Yes, she took advantage of a good trip last time out, but I just love the way she steamrolled home late. The number 10, Hawksmoor, her best races have come when she is able to control the pace. We've seen her just go out there, set lonely paces, and sprint on home at slightly longer distances. I'm not sure at a mile, breaking from an outside post with other speed in the race, it really suits Hawksmoor. And the Timeform US pace projector for this race has it as fast, and they don't have Hawksmoor getting the lead. That could work against her. Cambodia and Off Limits are going to be the 2 favorites in this race. But if you're looking for a little bit of a long shot, please consider the number 5, Insta Irma. Now, Insta Irma couldn't break through on the East Coast last year, early this year for Bill Mott, but she always hinted at a little bit of potential. She was switched over to trainer Richard Baltas for her Southern California debut, 2 starts back in the John C. Mabie, where she took on Cambodia, and boy, she just had a miserable trip. And I'm just going to consult my notes here. Tried to split horses entering the far turn, shuffled back a bit, steadied on the far turn, then in behind and steadied upper stretch, altered course to the far outside, and came with a solid late rally. That was really an eye-opening race for Insta Irma, and she backed it up in her subsequent outing when dropped into restricted company in the Swing Time Stakes at Santa Anita. Notice the fractions for that race. They went a half from 45 and change, and they went for home early, entering the far turn. Insta Irma had to complete a prolonged 3-furlong bid in that race, and it appeared she was going to be outpaced in mid-stretch, but she just came on determinedly in between horses, refused to lose, and got up to win by a nose under Corey Nakatani with a 96 Beyer speed figure. I believe Insta Irma is coming into her own. She's going to be a big price in the Matriarch, and you can certainly use her with some of the more fancied players. I think Cambodia gets through this. I think she's the best horse in the race, but from a multiple race wager standpoint, I'd use her, I'd use Off Limits, and I'd certainly consider the number 5, the up-and-coming Insta Irma. In the Sunday DRF.com Formulator Race of the Day, the Grade 1 Matriarch. And remember, when you sign up to DRF Bets, a $300 bonus is waiting for you at drf.com/fall when you use the promo code FALL300. Best of luck.